The USDA Rural Development Loan Program is one of my favorites to talk about. With that said, this amazing loan program does not come without its own obstacles and challenges. One of the biggest ones right now is getting your offer accepted. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Let's get right into it. When there's a ton of buyer demand for housing and not a ton of available homes, we see lots and lots of multiple offer situations. At the end of the day, if a seller is receiving multiple different offers and they have the opportunity to sit here and review them and say, okay, offer A has this, but offer B has this. No matter what financing type the offers are, most sellers are going to crunch those offers down into cash figures. Which buyers have down payments? Which buyers are going to be covering their own closing costs? Which buyers are potentially offering to pay above the appraised value to get my home and cover that in their own cash? Those are the offers that I am seeing more than anything stand out in this market when sellers are looking at multiple offer situations. If you are considering using the USDA Rural Development Loan, it's not necessarily that specific loan type is any weaker than any other loan. Your financial situation may not be quite strong enough to compete against the people who are coming in with conventional offers. And that could just be from a pure factor of how much cash you have on hand. Although I'm so encouraged and excited that so many of you are embracing and embarking on this journey of first-time home ownership and reaching out to lenders and getting pre-approved, I want you to know that on the front end, because I wouldn't want you to go speak to lenders, get your credit pulled, and ultimately maybe get pre-approved for a USDA loan, knowing that your free cash is just going to cover your closing costs and that you have no other cash that can be utilized to strengthen your offers. And I want you to know that that may not be competitive enough in this market. Right now, the market has shifted and there are just different demands being placed on home buyers. So it's not an issue with the loan type or anything like that. But I just want you to be cautious that there are so many lenders out there too that are quick to perhaps pre-approve you for a down payment assistance program, pre-approve you for a loan type that offers 100% financing. And as a first-time home buyer, that's a really exciting time because you're like, yes, I can get the loan. The hardest part is over. Now I can go find the house that I want. But in actuality, in this market, it's not the financing that's the obstacle. It's actually getting your offer accepted and standing out in those multiple offer situations. Now, of course, if you are in a super rural community, in a super rural state where there's just, cows and fields and not a lot of demand, by all means, you have to apply what I'm saying to your personal situation and where you're trying to buy. But I know that even in my suburban area, which is not super heavily populated, the buyers using the USDA loan are really struggling to find a house and get under contract. But don't think that I'm going to leave you hanging. There are some things that I want you to take away from this. One, it is 100% okay to wait to buy a house. Interest rates are starting to creep up, so your money's not going to go as far as it would have last year. And on top of that, there is still tons of competition. Now, no one knows exactly when the competition is going to die down and we're going to have a good balance of supply of homes with, home buyers wanting to purchase. But it will happen. We will see it start to balance out again in the future. So there's no harm if you can't compete right now. Don't put yourself through that stress. Go ahead and sit back, wait, rent, live with family members for a little bit if you can, and then come back into the market. If you are dead set on buying right now, there are other options that you can look into. Perhaps you have a relationship with a lender who has some other programs to where maybe you can finance your down payment as well as your closing costs so that your available cash that you have on hand could go towards appraisal gap coverages or making more competitive offers. Really, what I'm trying to do with even the buyers that I'm personally working with right now is sitting down and saying, okay, if you were drawn to the USDA loan, it might be because you don't have a ton of cash on hand. So how can we optimize the cash that you have available and basically put it where the seller is going to see it as most attractive? So reaching out to lenders to see if you have any options like that, or possibly if you do have some savings, looking at the option of an FHA loan or something that has a down payment would be a little bit of a step up, in my opinion, when it comes to a seller reviewing offers and seeing all what's on the table. I just want the takeaway to be like, is it possible to use the USDA loan in 2022? Yes, absolutely. Are you going to have a harder time getting under contract? Yes, you will. You are the only one who can make the decision of whether now is the right time for you to buy. So I want you to really think about that, because I know when I was buying my first house, all you see everywhere is the highlight reel of how glamorized home ownership is and how everyone should aspire to own a home at a certain age and how renting is just seen as not as desirable or not as nice. And that's not the case. Home ownership comes with its own set of pros and cons as well. It is up to you to make sure that you are actually ready to take it on, and then that you will be successful when you go into the market. Because I wouldn't want you to get pre-approved, not know exactly what you're going into, and then get super discouraged and, give up on that dream. This is what I'm passionate about. I'm passionate about making sure that you guys stay informed so that you can make the best decisions for yourself and your financial future. So if you have questions about this or general questions about the market, leave them in the comments below. I'm Nicole Nark, Arkansas real estate broker, with videos to help you find your way home, and I will see you in the next one.